Okay, this is part 5 of our series on true nature as a guide for counseling children. And I want to do a little segment here. This is part 5 on... Okay, this is part 5. And I want to look at the issue of understanding misbehavior and discipline or setting limits. We tend to think of misbehavior, even that's a problematic term. Misbehavior is another term for bad behavior, and we place a judgment on it. I kind of like the term stress behavior or distressing behavior. You could just say troubled or troubling behavior. But where there's distress is what I'm talking about, right? What's that about? And usually it looks like it's not fun anymore. There's an edge of aggression or an edge of withdrawnness. There's an edge of rigidity or not thinking very well. There's an edge of non-cooperation and inability to listen. These type of things, What's going on there? Here's a couple of simple ideas to help. Alita Salter, who has the AwareParenting.com website and the book Aware Baby, has a really useful little model for describing 3 primary causes of so-called misbehavior, right? They're real simple. One is an unmet need, right? The child's hungry. The child's sleepy. The child is bored. The child is needing affection, touch, skin deprivation. An unmet need. Wet diaper. Got the idea? That's just a matter of figuring out what it is and giving the legitimate need to the child, right? The second one is just a lack of information. You could consider that an unmet need as well, but specifically the child just doesn't have the information. They don't know how that works, so they're frustrated. They don't know what the rules are in this situation, what's expected. They don't have the information. So it's not really misbehavior there, it's just ignorance. And just helpful information is enough to straighten it out. So unmet need, lack of information. And the third one is where a lot of times it gets difficult. And what this is about is that there's a pent-up need for discharge. There's some distress that's pent up, that's backlogged, and it's spilling out. The child is upset about the pancakes, but really it's about the fact that their daddy hadn't been home in a few days and they miss their daddy. Or they come home and they're angry and upset with mom, but it's really that they got picked on at school and they couldn't deal with it at school. So it comes spilling out at home. Or the little one is just cranky and upset and crying and angry and frustrated, right? Maybe they're needing to discharge some trauma from their birth. We don't always know what it is. But the principle is the same, that what they need is attention to their distress and a loving, aware adult to stay close, be relaxed and confident, and let them get that expression out. Unmet need, lack of information, pent-up distress that needs to be expressed and released. It's a pretty good little diagnostic process. Another one of my favorite parenting teachers, Patty Whippler, who has the handinhandparenting.com website, great articles, great resources, has one little formula that's really great, and it's real simple. It's just called listen, limit, listen. Okay, here's the deal where we get hung up a lot of times. We think that we either set a limit and set some discipline and boundaries and stuff, or we give in and let the child have whatever they want. That's a false dichotomy. It's not true that you either stick with it or you totally cave in. It's just not right. What we think is, sticking with it means, and they don't complain about it, and they don't cry about it, and they take it like a man. Right? That's where it breaks down. Sometimes it makes sense to set a limit, But that doesn't mean that we can't also listen to the child's feelings about it, right? And this really, really works. You listen. I want another ice cream cone. The limit is, you already had an ice cream cone. It's not good for you to have another one. It's not healthy for you. Or we only spend one. We only have enough money for one. Whatever the reason is, the limit is set, right? But I really want one. You know, it's not called quit complaining or we'll never do it again. It's called not having another ice cream cone, but you really want one, huh? Yeah. You really want a strawberry. Yeah, I like a strawberry. Can I have it? You really want it. Yeah, I really want it. Well, we're not getting one, but I got it. You really want it. And you let them be as disappointed as they want to be. We can't protect our children from disappointment. In fact, that would drive us crazy. But we can't allow them to have their feelings about it. If you can't satisfy a child, no matter what you do, that usually means that they need to have a session. And if you don't set a limit, it just goes on forever. Children need limits. They need thoughtful, aware limits, but they need limits. So the principle is listen, limit, listen. Both are present. You listen, you have the limit, you listen some more, you stay with the limit as long as it makes sense. If they haven't convinced you that you're thoughtless in the limit setting, it's okay to change your mind. But as long as it still makes sense, you set the limit, can reinforce the limit, and you let them express. Real simple. 3 causes of misbehavior: unmet need, lack of information, pent-up distress that needs to be discharged. And then just one approach towards it, that you listen to the child, you set the limit, you keep listening, you stay with the limit if it makes sense, and you allow the child to express. Now, I understand as a parent, you don't always have time for this. Sometimes it's just called you distract the child, you pay them off, whatever, in a pinch, you know. But that's not counseling. That's just surviving in a busy world, you know. When you have time, you listen. And that's a great gift to give to your child. All right? Thanks.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psyche Truth channel.